2020 Ford pickup installing Samsara CM34 and VG55 NA. Take the alcohol wipe, clean the area you're going to mount the camera very, very well. Mount the camera, secure with clips, run above headliner. Now we're going to run down the A-pillar here. You're going to need to be careful about the airbags. On this type of vehicle, these Fords, it's best to remove the 10mm bolts. This is a way to install it. It's the way I prefer to install it. Remove the 10mm bolts, pull out the weather stripping. Once the bolts are out, you'll save yourself a lot of pain if you keep your thumb out of the way of this process. Pull the A-pillar off and hit the steering wheel with the A-pillar basically, because it does take quite a bit of force to get that off. Make sure you have both 10mm bolts removed. Avoid the airbag right here, and you're going to run this cable. On this particular Ford pickup, there are little plastic clips right here where you could just clip into those existing OEM clips. We're going to pop off this plastic panel on the driver's side dash that covers an air vent, and that is where we're going to mount our unit. We're going to work in this area. Now, this particular vehicle, that right there is the Ford Smart Data Link connector. It houses the OBDII plug. This vehicle has PTO switches and a bunch of upfitted features, so make sure you test those before and after to make sure you don't loosen any wires. Take the two 8mm nuts off of the Ford Smart Link connector, Smart Data Link connector. The OBDII plug is there. Here's the OBDII harness, C-Class for Samsara. You're going to mount that back in place on those two posts there and put the 8mm nuts back into place. We're going to plug into the Ford Smart Data Link connector or whatever it's called and zip tie that to secure it like so. You can add an extra zip tie on. I mounted it right here on this particular vehicle. I'm going to show you a different way to do it. There are many ways to do this. This is the way I did this vehicle. I mounted it to that curved metal arm that's within the dash there. You can kind of see it. I ran a zip tie through the eyelet of the connector. Now we're going to plug in the diagnostics cable and the USB into the Samsara gateway. On this one, I chose to mount it on the underside of the upper vent. I'm going to show an additional way that I mounted it same day. Put the panel back and boom, there you are. Now that vehicle didn't have a rear view mirror, which is a little bit easier. So I'm going to also show one that I did that did have a rear view mirror right here. You want to put it low enough to where the driver cannot obscure it with the visor, but also high enough that it's not going to be in their way while driving. Something else to consider, I could have ran that wire through the bulkhead, but it's not really necessary. I used the clips, I ran it through the headliner though, so it's nice and clean. On this one, I went to the lower vent. You could see the gateway mounted to the lower vent.